tanning drops that are drinkable in the flavor watermelon. You can add them to your favorite drink, which is what I'm about to do, or you can add them to a moisture.
No, you're not tripping. And yes, that's insane. Watermelon flavored melanin drops. They're gonna say tan, but we know it's melanated drops. So while some countries are trying to get rid of their beautiful dark skin and bleach, you have white people trying to get darker and trying to be melanated because they know the importance of that chemical compound that is naturally found in the natural beings of this planet.
White people don't get enough credit for having to deal with the sun. Put a white in the sun. Put a white in the sun and look what happens to them. Let's don't pretend like we don't know what happens to a white in the sun.
Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. In case you're new here, my name is Maren and I'm Maureen. So in today's episode, we're going to be talking about two products. One of them is called drinkable melanin and the other one is called fancy eye drops. Fancy eye drops is basically an eye drop that changes your eye color, especially if you have melanin to a lighter eye color. Right, and guys, we're also going to be talking about the fact that in history, it was known that melanin was something to be looked down upon. If you had a dark skin or if you had a good amount of melanin in your skin, it was noticeably that you wouldn't be living well in society. But apparently, right now, people are really after melanin, and we are even seeing white people being enticed to purchase these products that are watermelon flavored. Yeah, the question is right now, why are white people being enticed to change their skin colors? And the black community is basically asking where all this melanin is coming from. Right, let's watch what we've prepared for you and then we come back and talk about it. But we'd like to hear your thoughts and opinion on this subject. Also consider subscribing if it's your first time here. Let's watch and then we come back.
What's going on out there in the non-melanated community? Because I'm coming across a lot of these videos of white girls, you know, specifically these white women, right? They are getting a heavily bodily tans. Has anybody been seeing this on their timelines? This can't be healthy. Like to drench yourself in this amount of synthetic melanin, if it is synthetic melanin, it cannot be healthy. And you know, the ingredients in the bottle are not going to be true because no corporation in America makes healthy things. So what really is this? What are they putting on their body? Like, look at it on her sleeping gown, whatever it is. And then to go and curl your hair and then do all of this, what is going on here? This is like some Addams Family type ish, bro. Look at this, y'all. What is happening, America?
Tan that gives you this color. I am naturally this white. You need to use our ultra dark tan. It is watermelon scented, and this is what it looks like immediately after applying it with a rubber glove. I'm telling you, the color payoff is wild.
So why are they making everything related to melanin and pigment watermelon flavor? Like watermelon flavor tan? Like, why would you want to make an applicable tan, like bodily applicable tan, watermelon flavor? Like even the drinks that they're all drinking, man, it's even watermelon flavor as well too. So you know what they say about us and watermelon. We do love our watermelon. I love watermelon. So are they trying to subconsciously make us be attracted to them in a sense?
We're always talking about how European beauty standards are rooted in racism, but they're actually quite classist as well. A perfect example of this would be looking at the history of the desirability to be tan in white people. Let's talk about it. For centuries, tans were associated with the lower class because only poor people had to work in the sun. Both the Europeans actually made it very fashionable to be as pale as possible. Then came the Industrial Revolution where two things happened. One, poor people were working inside in factories, and two, we realized the lack of sun can actually have a lot of negative health effects. Fast forward to the 1920s when Gabrielle Coco Chanel goes on a Mediterranean cruise and she comes back with this fashionable tan. So now, for the first time, tans became associated with health and being wealthy enough to have leisure time to just lay in the sun. And if you're still confused how these standards are rooted in exclusion, consider the last time you've seen a dark-skinned person be complimented on their tan.
I just have a question for y'all white women. Why do y'all tan? Like, what is the point?
So I just woke up, but I don't see anybody in your comments pointing out that there's like an actual historic moment when being tan became a thing for white women. A lot of people are answering this woman's question about why white women tan, which is because we think it looks healthier and thinner. They say if you can't tone it, tan it, whatever. But it actually wasn't a thing until around the early 20th. If I remember, I'm not fact checking, by the way, but I just remember reading an article about this forever ago. In the 1920s is when we see like tanning become a trend in wellness and beauty for women, specifically because this is when it became associated with wealth. Only wealthy people go on vacation, and it became like this signifier. Like if you were the kind of person who went to the ocean, went to the beach, went to the islands for a couple months every year, if you were in, what's the place the rich people go up north, the Hamptons, for several months a year, and you came back bronzed skin because you'd just been doing nothing for 2 months, that became associated with wealth. Only wealthy people vacation. Hence, as we've always done in America, women want to emulate the wealthy women.
Okay, it's kind of a session now. They was obsessed with the music and all that, I know that, but y'all taking the melanin? How y'all getting this? Like, people, y'all gotta use your head, wake up. What's going on? White folks trying to turn this shit black for real. I think what we all want is a better tan with less sun exposure. We the originals.
I found these tanning drops from Zaria. You literally want a tan that gives you this color. I am naturally this white. You need...
Why do white people tan? Specifically the racist conservative ones, but in general, why do y'all do it? Well, I went on my live stream yesterday and I asked y'all directly. So let's go over the answers one by one. Starting at the third most common response, to make me look less sickly / ghostly. Number 2 was to make me look skinnier and anything to do with body contouring. Honorable mention, to make cellulite less noticeable. What do you think was the number 1 most common response to why white people like to tan? When I say tan, I don't mean go out in the sun like for a beach day. I mean intentionally tan with tanning oils, lotions, cooking in the sun for hours, roasting in tanning beds, like that kind of tan. Number 1 most common answer was, I don't know. I don't know. To me, that answer is so annoying. It's one of the simplest examples of white privilege, but if I say that, I am still getting angry comments from white people for a video I posted in 2021 about this exact same topic to this day. Before I explain why I feel this way, let's take a look at something that someone on my live stream told me to look up. It's called Irish traveler culture. This is terrifying. Mind you, this is a white woman who is darker than me. Okay, you get the idea. I just find it interesting how for the longest time, porcelain skin was considered elite. Right now I'm specifically talking about the US, Canada, UK, Australia, because depending on where you are in the world, this beauty standard is very different. Anyway, to this day, tanning is like one of the top beauty standards for white women. The tradition of tanning only exists as a performance of white classism. The only reason I know that is because I looked into it, because as someone who is not white, I always felt the opposite. I knew from a very young age that the lighter I was, the better I would be treated in society. To this day, there are African and Caribbean people who have family members who bleach their skin. 2025, still bleaching their skin with harmful chemicals. It's just wild how a black woman, for example, could get a heavy tan and all of a sudden be perceived as more aggressive versus a white woman who gets a heavy tan, all of a sudden now they're seen as this symbol of wealth. Anyway, am I saying that it's like racist or classist inherently to get a tan? No. It's just interesting that when I ask white people why they do it, the most common answer is, I don't know, because you've literally never had to think of it.
They be playing in our faces. To the person watching this right now, go look up drinkable melanin. Drinkable melanin. And then ask yourself, where you think they got that from? Look at the smiles on their faces while they taking it and everything. Just soak it all in. And ask yourself, where you think they got that from? And how do you feel about that?
How do I feel about it? I feel that is not real. I've never known a single white person to drink any tanning product. I've known some who took peptides to tan greater. White people can already produce the eumelanin, which creates black and brown skin. So we produce both pheomelanin and eumelanin. There's a balance of that pigmentation to create red and blonde hair, as well as darker hairs. It has nothing to do with magic related to being an African person. Definitely not something related to the ongoing conflict in Sudan. White people are not scooping up dead bodies from Sudan. I think most Americans and white people in general, actually every single white person, would probably be appalled at the idea of drinking an elixir made of a dead body. Nobody would buy that. It would not be commercially available. It would be illegal. People selling that would be arrested. Absolutely nobody is trying to consume black people for their magic. See, because white people, of course, want to look just like black people. That's why they tan. They want to be like black people, but they don't want our struggles. Well, you think that black magic, that magic that comes with your melanin, would really help you because, you know, melanin makes you just more powerful.
Have you guys ever thought about changing the color of your eyes through a non-invasive solution like LASIK? Well, now you can, and they're literally putting it in a bottle, y'all. This right here is Fancy Drops, and how it works, y'all, it literally strips the melanin out of your eyes in order to give you your desired color that you want to achieve. And they have different pigments like light blue, green, gray, hazel. This is crazy, y'all. Check this out.
Too good to be true, but all over the internet there are video surfacing of this so-called Fancy Drops color changing eye drops. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna put it to the test with our good friend Dr. Sanya Batra.
So this is a product we're gonna see if it works. It's called Fancy Drops. And the idea is that it works very quickly, and the way it works is all you need to do is put 2 drops in each eye and use it morning and night to see results. And I have just looked at what's in this product, and I've looked at the ingredients. The bottle is packed with powerful color-changing ingredients that reduce melanin in the iris to naturally achieve your desired eye color.
I don't know about you guys, but I love the melanin on my skin and my eyes. But if you're looking to do anything like this, then you can look into these. But it's crazy, man. This is how you know it's over.
This video is showing you what sunscreen looks like under UV light. Did you know that sunscreen is basically melanin? What black people are born with is what they put in a bottle to protect their skin. So basically, melanin is our natural body's defense. It absorbs the sun UV rays while protecting our cells from damage. And the only thing that sunscreen does is copies that process. It's basically made to block and absorb the same rays, but is using chemicals and shit. Basically, sunscreen is just synthetic melanin. What black people are born with is what other people have to put in a bottle to protect their skin. It's melanin in a bottle. It's basically science trying to imitate what nature already gave us. And even though our skin carries that built-in protection, we can still use sunscreen to add that extra layer of defense. So next time you're putting sunscreen on your face, just remember, you're rubbing on melanin to protect you from the sun. Love yourself, black people. You are something special.
Melanated people are not meant to eat acidic foods. Melanated people are meant to consume alkaline foods. Melanated people are meant to consume melon. When melanated people eat watermelon, it's like gold. And so vilifying watermelon helps you hurt yourself. I don't eat watermelon. No, I don't do that. You're supposed to. And yes, you do have an appetite for it. But now all of a sudden you don't want to eat watermelon? Watermelon is the world's largest vine fruit. And it is literal gold.
Somebody's watching me. It's my anxiety.
Somehow I ended up on Tanning Talk, and so my feed is just full of these videos of before and afters of people showing their insane tan that they get on vacation, people strategizing how to get the most out of their time outside tanning when the UV index is 7, 8, 9, or even higher. I hate to break it to you, but tanning is a sign that your DNA is being damaged by the sun. Even if you're not burning, and even if you're wearing sunscreen, if you're laying out in the sun to the point where your skin is changing color, you're doing damage. Now, the amount of damage required to tan is going to be very different from person to person based on their skin type and genetics. So take me, for example, as a super pasty person. I do not tan easily, and so I have to accumulate a lot of sun damage before I start changing color. But others, based on their skin type, may tan with very minimal UV damage and sun exposure. DNA damage is cumulative with time and increases the risk of deadly skin cancers like melanoma, disfiguring skin cancers like basal cell carcinoma, which I'm diagnosing in people in their 20s now, and not to be vain, but premature skin aging and wrinkles. So just don't do it.
Like skin lightening treatments and all that, but then there's white people who go tanning.
I see where your head is at, you know, and it really helps me to synthesize this thought. White people tan because they want to assume an identity that their culture does not provide them. Black and brown people lighten their skin because they want to assume access and or proximity to whiteness out of survival. And of course, some internalized self-hatred. you know. But all of that is a result of white supremacy and the centuries-long endeavor of indoctrinating everyone into white supremacy. It's fucking shitty. It's a terrible way that we have decided to live. You know what I'm saying? And if you're dark skinned, you're just fucked, you know, because of course you can go ahead and try to lighten that skin, but then you just come out looking like Sammy Sosa, you know? Yikes.
So guys, welcome back. Let us know what you think about this episode in the comment section. Yeah, you know, one important question we have to ask is that where is all these melanin products coming from? And because it's this product is flooding the market, and right now it's becoming quite common for people to come across such, and even influencers on TikTok are busy advertising them.
Right, and I have to believe that all these melanin products, they're not real or natural melanin products. They, of course, they do have chemicals in them, and just like how the black community uses, you know, skin whitener, what are they called?
Bleach.
Yes,
Bleaching.
yes. Just as how the black community uses skin bleaching to lighten their skin, and they usually face health repercussions after this. I have to believe that there's some disadvantage to white people using synthetic melanin because this is melanin that has been manufactured in the lab. As the Black American brother said, no matter how much they say that it is healthy melanin, it is not the organic melanin.
Right, and guys, this just proves, or it goes to show that a lot of what the people in the white community, what they do is always performative, or they do things because it directly benefits them. Because
or they'll castigate something that they can't have, and once the community that has whatever they're castigating starts moving away from whatever they're castigating, they start picking it up and saying how good it is when they themselves realize they need it.
Right, because guys, let's talk about a point we had from these teachers where somebody was talking about there was a point in history where tanned white people was assigned
poor.
They were considered poor because those were the people who were working outside, meaning the rich folks were the ones who were being sheltered and housed, so they were pale, right? And then it got to a point where that narrative no longer suited
the white people.
Exactly, because now people started working during the industrialization. Yeah, people started working indoors in factories. Yeah, and the rich people started going out on vacation, getting this, you know, suntan.
And now tans became a fashionable thing.
Yeah, and this goes to show a lot of the things the white community does is quite performative, and a lot of the things they do is out of their personal interest. Yeah, because you tell me why a white person who, to be honest, a lot of them are quite racist, but they are going out there to seek for darker skin. You know why? It's not because they want to be black or anything, but because they want to spread the idea around that they are rich and they can afford things. And I feel like in our generation, a lot of these things became quite common because of influencers or reality TV shows like Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Yeah.
Right, and also when it comes to changing your eye color, you're literally dyeing the most sensitive part of your face, which is the eyes. You know, I do believe that whoever came up with contact lenses, that those should have been enough for those people who are desperate enough to want to change their eye colors, right? But putting an actual chemical in your eyes and changing the way it is naturally meant to be, don't people fear for their health?
And the fact that these products were passed on as safe, and we all know that there's no corporation in the world that makes safe products, and there's no corporation in the world that will make 100% healthy things. Yeah, but the fact that they were passed out there, ask yourself what type of DNA damage or what type of problems are you bringing to yourself.
Right, and you know the funniest thing is white supremacy basically taught the whole world that black people, because of their melanin and how black they were, that was the most deplorable thing you could become. And the same white supremacy also makes white people feel insecure about their ghost skin, and they feel to a point where they pressure them to want to tan so that they can look less ghostly.
Right, but guys, we don't know what you have to say about this episode. Let us know, because right now we all know, by now I feel like everybody already knows the importance of melanin,
Right.
and we all know that it's more valuable than gold, right? And the main question was, where is all these melanin products other than the synthetic ones that are being made in labs, right? But the rest, the organic ones, where are these melanin coming from? Because I want to believe that even in computers where they use melanin, I want to believe that they're not using the synthetic one, yeah?
And I do believe that there is a very mad scientist somewhere who has already found a way to extract it from the source.
Anyway, guys, let us know what you think about this video in the comment section, and we'll catch you on our next episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. Consider subscribing before you leave if you haven't already, right?
Right.